Hi there.
Unmute myself. Yeah. Hi. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Good. Good. Thank you. Thanks for asking.
Looking lovely.
Oh, thank you. So you. I
I'm trying
like
to get my
that.
lighting right. It looks a bit, I don't know, it looks a bit dull.
Your lighting. Mm, it's fine actually.
Okay, good. Oh, can't hear you.
We can't hear Bhavna. You're on
Ravana,
mute.
you need to unmute.
You're on mute, Bhavna.
There we go.
Yes. So we are ready. Yeah. So very good evening to both you ladies. And I would like to welcome Alka Sharma, Fortune 500 ACC ICF Executive Coach, and Pat Duckworth is a women's well-being strategist at international public and an international public speaker. And I'm Bhavna, who will be your moderator for this evening. Our topic for today, the power of confidence and overcoming self-doubt. So the stage is open, ladies. Please go ahead.
Okay. So thank you, Bhavna, and thank you, WEF team. I think this is a wonderful opportunity to reach out to so many of you, so many women, so many men. And talking about self-confidence really lights me up because this is something that I have learned and unlearned in so many ways over the years that it's amazing. When we are kids, we're told that confidence is standing in a certain way and speaking up for yourself. So the right words matter, the right body language matters, and we keep on linking the right algorithm for self-confidence, and then we look up to people and then we're like, okay, we want to be like this person, so this is what I should talk like and this is what I should do. And that is when we are finding an identity for ourselves. And then at some time, we have an opportunity where we are bringing our values, our competence to the front. We're working, we are studying. And in that environment, again, the self confidence kind of becomes more like self esteem because it's more about what you are able to set your eyes on and achieve. So self-confidence becomes more of self-esteem, and therefore it's a really confusing, idea and concept. Um, then we come into our midlife, and a lot of us have the opportunity to actually enjoy our kind of midlife, where we've done one, we've established ourselves in one field, we're looking at another field, or we're moving through life, and we're moving through the changes that are happening around in life. And then the things that we've learned do not work. So it could be teenage kids, or it could just be a new job, or it could just be changes in our life or our body or whatever. And we're left wondering what happened to my self-confidence. And therefore, the word self-confidence itself brings different experiences to different people. And the interesting aspect that this platform has chosen as the subject is self-doubt and self-confidence. And I would like to say something very radical today, and that is that self-confidence and self-doubt are not on two ends of a spectrum. Self-confidence and self-doubt can actually be partnered. And with some neuroscience principles that I'll share today, you can see how you don't have to get rid of self doubt to become self confident or to feel better and do things more effortlessly and seamlessly, but how you can partner self doubt, look at it from a distance, see self doubt as an informer, and move on with your life, and then see unexpected things coming into your life, because the more we think we control our life, the less we control it actually. And on control, I'd like to say how self-confidence and self-doubt really come together. So what happens is we set an intention, we go out, we have a plan of action, and we want to lead to some impact, whatever the intention or the action is. But the plan is not usually as we think it would be. And the moment the uncertainty comes in, and especially in times like this, right, with COVID and working from home and having virtual conversations and virtual business, who thought of virtual business? At such times, self-doubt creeps in because we have a fear of rejection, we have a fear of criticism, we have a fear of what will people think, what is the right way, and that creeps in and kind of keeps us, holds us back from wanting to be in that plan of action. It puts in this hesitation and this story in our brain that it's very difficult to fight against. So the three things in the neuroscience framework that I want to share today are 3 C's actually, to make it very, very simple. The first is curiosity. The second is courage. And the third is compassion. And I'll share how you can use this to your advantage. The first is curiosity. And curiosity is such a powerful tool in neuroscience, because if you can start observing your own patterns, the chatter in your brain, what is happening outside, what you're trying to control or finding resistance with, if you can see that with curiosity from a distance, you can actually see the interplay of everything. And you can be curious about the beliefs that are holding you back. Perhaps the belief around self-confidence is self-confidence only comes through hard work. Perhaps the belief around self-confidence is self-confidence only comes when I do things, not when I ask for help. That's weakness, right? Or I should have known this. Also, curiosity around perfectionism. That is so unique, especially for women, individuals, for teams. It is so common because we want to do everything and we want to do everything with perfectionism. But you know what? Perfectionism comes with this long list of black and white thinking. It comes with the shoulds and the musts, and it puts pressure on us so much that sometimes we procrastinate because we're a perfectionist. Sometimes we'd rather not do something and be judged for it or rejected or criticized. And those reflections can only come when we are able to be curious. So that's the first step. The second step, and this is more to partner with self-doubt, is to have the courage. And courage is not just being assertive or saying what you want to say. Courage is about this silence vulnerability of telling your story, of asking for help, of walking through the dark tunnel where you don't really know where your intent is going to meet an impact, and where the stories and the chatter are going in your brain, but you're courageous because you're like, I'm going to go through with it. I'm not waiting for the perfect moment. I'm not waiting for anything else. I'm just going to go with it. It's perfectly okay if I fail. It's perfectly okay if I get rejected. There will be more ideas. There'll be more things that I have to lose. It's just a part of my life. And I don't want to lose this experience. The courage to embrace experiences and the courage to see life through experiences rather than conclusions that we turn into labels for ourselves. I succeeded at this, which means I am a success. No, you failed at something, you could still be a success. I mean, if you look at autobiographies, you look at stories of so many entrepreneurs, the more they try, the more they fail. And that's a good thing, because you could be on your path faster if you fail fast. So that's another, concept to think about. How can we be courageous even when, we're really, really scared because our stakes are high, we're really scared, but we still feel, yeah, there's a lot that I could do and I could go on. The third thing, so curiosity, courage. The third thing is compassion. And I know that this year we have been talking a lot about compassion. We have been talking about how can we be compassionate to each other. And I would also say extend that to yourself, extend that compassion to yourself, be kind to yourself. Don't make everything a conclusive story, whether it's a failure or it's a setback or it's a rejection or something did not work. There are millions of dynamics out there, and you are ready in the moment, and you are being, in your entire journey, you are being made to be ready for the coming future. Sometimes it will come as a setback. Sometimes it will come as a rejection, but it could be a redirection. And if we are curious and if we are able to see it from a distance, then it gives us so many insights. Should I do it alone? Can I partner with somebody? Can I ask for help? Can I not do it this way? Is there another way to do it? This kind of an understanding with the situation, with life, with ourselves can only happen when we do it with distance, when we do it with kindness, and when we do it with a little bit of courage. Even when things seem really dark and dull, it's never as bad as we think it would be. So this is what I wanted to share today. In my personal life itself, there have been moments where I thought, oh my God, nothing works. Just nothing works. But that does not mean that you don't work, because we are so flexible, and we are, as long as we are open to embracing whatever comes in our life, there is no limit to what we can do. And we have to keep the courage, and we have to be compassionate to ourselves and stay curious, because that's the way that we can move on and lead to more impact. So this is what I wanted to share today. If the audience has more questions or they want to connect with me, my Instagram channel is Coach Alka. My YouTube channel is Coach Alka. I have both Hindi as well as English content. And I try my best to reach out to people and to help them in their, when they're confused or when they're stuck in their mind around all of this, because I feel the same way. And it's perfectly okay to feel like this. It's just human, and we can all do it together if we learn to reach out for help and if we learn to do some self-work.
Thank you so much, Alka. That was really wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah. May I please ask Pat to take the stage again?
Pat, you're muted.
Yeah. Still can't hear you?
Yeah, sorry, I'm here now.
Great.
So it's lovely to be here. This is my 12th Women Economic Forum.
Wonderful.
So wonderful to virtually be with you in Bangalore. So I so appreciate everything that Alka said. There are so many aspects to confidence. So today I'm going to talk a bit about how we recognize confidence in other people, and also about some really simple techniques that you can use to just boost your confidence. Because sometimes in the moment, you just need a boost to be able to do something. And once you've done it, it just adds to your bank of confidence that allows you to do even more. So as a therapist, as a trainer, as a coach, I'm often speaking to men, women, and children who have lost a bit of their confidence and want to be able to do something, and the lack of confidence is holding them back. It's stopping them from what they want to do. And when you think about it, as Alka said, when we're born as babies, all babies are confident. They're confident that they'll be fed, they'll be confident that they'll be looked after. But somewhere along the line, some of that confidence starts to disappear. But the good news is that you can get it back. So don't worry, we're going to talk about how you can get it back. I specialize in helping women at midlife, because at midlife and at menopause, there are so many changes that are going on to the body, to the mind, to the emotions, and even very fundamentally at the level of our identity, who we think we are as women at menopause, that can really start to reduce your confidence. And with that loss of self-confidence, it can hold you back at work, it can hold you back in your relationships, it can hold you back in your family, and nobody wants that. We all want to be the best version of ourselves. So it's important to take action. So it's one of the first things that I would say, and it was really what Alka was talking about as well, is don't just sit back and think this is how it is. There's always action that you can take that will help you to boost your confidence. So what do confident women have? What do they look like? How do they behave? Well, firstly, confident women love themselves and take care of themselves. That's not a ooh, I really love me kind of thing. It is, as that ad goes, knowing that you're worth it. I'm worth looking after. I'm worth having a go at this. I'm worth making some changes because I love myself enough to do that. Loving other people starts with loving yourself. So don't be afraid to love yourself. The second thing that confident women have is that they understand themselves. They understand their strengths. They know what they're good at. They can recognize it. And they understand the areas where they might need some development. So they're always looking for ways to develop. Do they need to develop more of their strengths? Can they do something about the other areas? Or do they need to work with somebody else to supplement the areas where they don't feel as strong? So it's always about that development and that self-awareness around what you're good at, what you might need to do some work on. So what else can we say about them? Confident women know what they want and they're able to ask for it. So you know that situation where somebody at work says, well, what do you really want? And you wish you could say, but you don't feel confident enough to say it. And then people can't give you the things you want because you haven't been able to ask for them. So confident women, they recognize their needs, their wants, and they're able to ask for it in a way that's assertive, not aggressive, but in a way that says, this is who I am, this is what I want at the moment. Confident women aren't afraid to set themselves goals. So again, it's that taking action thing and that not being afraid, being courageous enough. In neurolinguistic programming, we say there is no failure, there is only feedback. Sometimes that feels a bit tough. You think, oh, this didn't go the way I expected it to go, I failed. You didn't fail, you just learned that way that you did it didn't work, and now you can try another way. So confident women aren't afraid of that version of failure. They think, okay, so what did I learn and now what can I do? They think positively and they don't get overwhelmed. In the sort of therapy I do, we call this internal locus of control. They know that they've got control over some aspects. This has been really important during this COVID crisis, understanding what you're in control of and what you're not, and really focusing your efforts in what you're in control of. That's really at the nub of feeling that you can be in control of some aspects of your life. Confident women behave skillfully. Not everything goes the way you plan. You walk into different situations and you have to adjust for it and adjust your behavior. And finally, confident women are good to be around. They're fun to be around. If you're not feeling confident and you're holding yourself back, other people have to put the effort into trying to help you rather than just enjoying the situation. So if you can be confident, it's nice to be around you because you think, okay, I can relax, I can be myself because that person is taking care of themselves as well. So have a think about that and think, are there some of those areas that for you might be something you could develop, or do you recognize your own strengths in that? So I just want to teach you 3 quick techniques to help you to boost your confidence. These are the sorts of things that I use with my clients. So the first one, you may already know it, it's called the power stance. So this is if you're walking into a situation, you're not feeling particularly confident, taking yourself away for just 2 minutes and doing this simple thing can boost your confidence. You stand with your hands on your hips, with your feet hip distance apart, you're looking straight forward, your eyes are staring forward, your chin is there. You do this with attitude, it's not like, it's this. And then your brain gets the message that you're feeling confident and it sends some testosterone into your system and it just gives you a little boost. Just 2 minutes of doing that. Perhaps you take yourself away to the washrooms or something, or you can just stand like it. So if anybody comments, you say, I'm a superhero. And it is that superhero stance. You're channeling your inner superhero. So that's number 1. Number 2 is to act as if. Sometimes when we're walking into a situation, we need to act as if we're confident, even if inside we're quaking a little bit. You can do that by thinking about a time when you have been confident and just bringing that to the fore and imagining how you felt and looked in that moment. Or it could be that you need to think about somebody who for you is the right sort of confident, not somebody who's arrogant that you wouldn't want to be like, but somebody, perhaps a film star or a friend or a presenter that you've seen that you think, I want to be like that. Then really think, what did they look like? How did they stand? How did they move? Even what did their voice sound like? Because there's confident tones of voice. Channel that. I've done whole meetings as somebody else when I wasn't feeling confident, and nobody knows you're doing it. So you just kind of take on the mantle of that person. And my final tip is about anchoring. And anchoring is when we use a past memory in order to help us in the present. A bit like that last technique. Think about a time when you felt really confident. Get a picture of it. How you looked in that moment, what was around you. It might have been you passed an exam or a driving test, or you just got dressed up to go out for the evening and you felt really good. Or it could be somebody gave you a compliment. Whatever it is, just get that picture, bring it in big and close, make it clear and bright so you're looking at confident you. Put in any little movements that you made, make it 3D so you could just like step back in and be that confident person. Put in any sounds, perhaps it's the sound of your voice being confident, or maybe it's the sound of somebody giving you a compliment, or maybe it's applause. You've just given the greatest presentation and people are applauding you. Get those sounds, and with the images and the sounds, get that feeling in your body. And really embody that feeling of confidence, because we know when we look at people whether they're confident or not. And it's very hard to feel confident if you're like this. You know, it feels much more confident to be like this. So start to embody that feeling of confidence, and then think if there are any confident thoughts you had in the moment, or whether there were any other things coming from your senses that made that confident feeling really strong. And when it's really strong, then just press your thumb, your forefinger together. You're anchoring that feeling of confidence in that little feeling in your thumb and forefinger. Shake yourself out, do the whole process again, do it again. Shake it out, do it again. When you've done it about 3 times, your brain is making the connection between this little feeling and feeling confident. It's a use it or lose it technique. If you don't practice it, it doesn't work. But how lovely to go back to a memory of feeling confident and keep going over it and using it for when you want to be confident in the future. I just love that. It's so helpful for my clients. So, and there are more ways you can develop on that and use it even more. If you're watching and you'd like the instructions for that, you can contact me on LinkedIn, Pat Duckworth, or email me, pat@patduckworth.com. Very happy to send you the instructions for how you can do that. So you've had so much advice from Alka, you've had some tips and techniques from me, and you know that being confident is about taking action. So what are you going to do without any fear of failure, because you know that failure is only feedback? What are you going to do to increase your own confidence? Or if you already feel confident, what could you do for a shy friend or colleague? Could you share this video with them? Could you teach them these techniques? Perhaps you've got a child who's a little bit nervous. Help them, because we all want to be our best selves. Thank you. It's been a real joy to be here at WEF.
Thank you so much, Pat. I think we will be running out of time shortly. Confident people carry a persona, quote unquote. Both of you ladies embody this. May I please confer the award to Pat Duckworth for creating a better world for all of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
A pleasure. And thank you so much. And we look forward to having you with us for the next WEF.
Hopefully I'll be able to see you all and hug you all.
Yes, of course. And you should travel. If it's there in our country, you must come back.
Thank you. I've been 3 times and come back again.
Yeah. Alka, you have also been conferred the Iconic Women of the Year Award for making this world a better place. Thank you so much. And it was wonderful having you with us. And we definitely look forward to more sessions with you, Alka. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bhavna. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much. And I'm waiting for Ms. Heather Greyjoy Bassett to join us.
Could you just put us all into one of those others? Can you change it to, what's it called? Gallery view? Or are you seeing
Gallery
it?
view? Okay.
And I will take a picture of us all. I'll do a screenshot.
Wonderful. I'll just post it on the chat for the host.
Yeah, I've done it. I can see it on mine now. So,
Okay,
so
we are.
camera.
Can you see the three of us?
I can.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So you want to take a photograph? I'm not going to look confident.
That's lovely. I've done it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And look forward to both of you all coming for the next web.
Thank you. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Alka.
You all also. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You can join us if you would like to attend the other program on the same channel.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, we'll have Heather Joy Bassett joining us. I think she's just coming on. Hello, Heather. Would you like to unmute?
Hello.
Hi, how are you, Heather?
I'm very well. And yourself?
Very well, thank you, Heather. May
Awesome.
I have the pleasure of introducing you, Heather? Heather,
Yes.
you are a renowned international speaker, author, and life strategist who will now unravel the thoughts on, in a world full of trends, I want to remain a classic, dare to be different. And Heather, my name is Bhavna, and I shall be with you for this evening.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. And I'm excited to explore what this Dare to be Different is. And I remember reading something from Brene Brown. You know what?
Yes.
That's the next talk.
Okay.
I'm on the next talk. So let me come back to Dare to be Different. I love to play with profiles. Some people call them typologies. And if we look at the Gallup Strength Profile, the chances of coming across someone who has the same strength as you is like 1 in 33.4 million.
Okay.
That's huge. And then if we look at human design and layer that on, then again, it's something like 1 in 400 million.
Right.
Then we all have, every one of us is seeing something different on screen because we're sitting in a different position. We've had a different life's experience.
Yes.
So I'm fascinated by these trends about why we want to follow the trend. And then that does come back to Brene Brown.
Right.
That really does, because one of the big things is that we want to fit in. We all want to fit in. And what happens? Yes, you know that feeling, don't you?
Yes.
I'm sure the listeners do too.
Of course. Yeah.
And one of the things when I was reading Brene Brown's thing is the journey is to fit into ourselves.
True.
Is to really fit into ourselves. And we're often searching to fit into a tribe, to fit into a community, to fit into a team. And of course, that's going to be really difficult.
Right.
When we don't fit into ourselves. And that is my lived experience. So I sort of looked back at my life and thought, yeah, what did I do? When did I try to fit in? And I can remember in my final year at high school, I'd been working picking strawberries and I had some money and I was going to buy myself some jeans because jeans were the thing back then. So I was like, I'm going off to buy some jeans. And I came back with these bootleg things that were brown, had a bit of blue in them, were a bit swirly. And at the time, I didn't even think anything of it.
Right.
I look back at the photo and I'm like, they weren't the average jeans.
Right.
Everyone else had these blue denim jeans on. So one of the things, it's like, yeah, how hard have I tried? And I know many others have tried to fit in. And recently someone said to me, you're so different. You just don't fit, do you? And that little girl in me just went,
yes. Yes.
Please love me. Please. I want to fit in. I really, really wanted to fit in. And then I look at our journey of that trying to fit in. And then I think of Gallup strength. Chances of coming across someone with your same strength. 1 in 33.4 million. Wow. And then we're trying to fit that box.
Right.
How does that work? And I know that trying to fit in for many of us, trying to do it someone else's way, trying because it worked for them.
Right.
It worked for them. They developed a thing and it worked for them with their life's experience.
Sure.
With their background, with their training, with their skills, it works for them. And then for some reason I think, oh, that's going to work for me. And I know there'll be many people listening that have been down that same journey. It's like, yeah, well, it worked for you. That'll work for me.
Of course.
Have you found that to be true for you?
Sometimes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes, not always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then one of the things is what are the things that we do and explore that bring us back to our unique perfection?
Right.
Now, we're not perfect. Well, you might be, but I know
I'm not. Not at all.
Well, I'm totally with you.
I'm learning every day.
Yeah. And
I'm learning from you just now.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that you're engaging with me. I think this
of course.
It's what I wanted, and I thought you were going to be sitting there silently. So thank you.
No, I'm not a silent one, and I'm imbibing everything. So
awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and that has taken me to where was I? So yeah, with all these things that people create, I love it, and it's like, cool, which bits can we take?
Yeah.
Which bits can we take that help you be perfectly you? That help you be in your strengths? That help you be in your genius? Because I totally am with that guy, and my mind's gone, the perfection of it, Einstein, who said, if we're a fish and we spend our life trying to climb a tree, we're going to spend our whole life feeling stupid. And as the emotions ripple through me, one of the things that I really struggled with is a young friend. She was different. Gorgeous, gorgeous young woman. And she was one of my clients, and then we became friends outside of my podiatry clinic with her mum and dad's permission. And I got a phone call from her mum on Monday morning, on Friday. And then on Monday morning, I rang up and said, hey, I got a call. How's Tracy? What's going on? Thinking she's got sore toes or something. And her mum said, hey, it's her 21st. And I was about to celebrate. And you know that sixth sense that kicks in?
Yeah.
that thing that stops you.
Oh, yes. It's stopping me too just now. Yeah.
Yeah. The next words that came out of her mouth were, it's her 21st and it's her funeral. She had hung herself.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It was her funeral.
Sad.
It's many
I'm so
years
sorry.
later,
Yes, yes.
and I still grieve.
I'm
And
so
I know there will be people here who are being triggered around now. And I honor your grief and your sadness and your courage and vulnerability. And it's like, it's almost like, how dare we try to make people who are a genius in all these strengths, in all these different dynamics? How is it that we end up trying to fit a box that often sucks the life out of us?
right.
It sucks the life out of us. And so this is a very heavy mode. And the beauty of it is the gift that she has given me, the gift that she added to life, the joy that she gave me. And then it's like, cool, stop trying to fit people into boxes.
Yes.
Stop doing that. And what we'll do, the amount of times I've had someone say, oh, yeah, you just got to get out of your box. And that if you come over here, because you're in a box, and if you come over here, we'll get you out of that box. And then I'm like, now I'm trying to fit your box. And that's not working so well either.
Yeah.
So, and I also get the perfection of life and its ups and its downs.
Of course.
Yeah, and the tragedies. And the richness that sorrow and that grief and the joy and the ecstasy and the wonder and the awe of life that bring to us.
True.
So then I was going to go online and go, oh, cool. Who dared to be different? I was like, well, if I do that, you can all go and look on Google anytime.
Sure.
And you can search Dare to be Different.
Right.
And there are women throughout history that have done extraordinary things because
absolutely.
Yeah. So have you got someone that you admire, that you respect, who dared to be different?
Who do I admire? I admire my mother. She was so different, I cannot tell you. My mother was a widow at maybe 30 years of age. And people would ask her to get married, ask for her hand. But she said, no, I want my daughter to have a wonderful life. And if I have a man in my life, she's not going to have it. Then my mother has looked after me so beautifully. She has nurtured me like a flower, so beautiful, and have taken all her traits, her love in nurturing my children.
Wow.
So my home currently is a place where I feel that there is love and there's positivity. And I would attribute all that to my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, until recently, my parents lived with me.
Okay.
And my daughter lived with me. And my grandchildren would come over and we would have 4 generations.
If I could I would love to interrupt you.
Yes.
I was talking to you about my mother. At one stage of our life, I was so thrilled that my husband accepted that my grandmother, my mother, my husband and I, and both of my kids, we lived under one roof. So my children have had the love of a great grandmother, a grandmother, and all of us. So I
Yeah.
think that's bliss.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yes,
It is such a luxury and an honor, isn't it,
absolutely.
to have that?
Of course.
You know what was crazy for me when I did that? The
Yes.
amount of people who told me
Uh-huh.
that I had to leave that I had to go, that I had to do it another way, to step into this speaking role, to make a difference in the world, to bring a message into the world, that I had to leave that.
Why?
Because that was their
Ah,
norm. That was their feeling. And for me, there are times when we all get caught up in what other people tell us.
sure.
Well, I do.
It's normal.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Pardon?
It's normal.
Yes.
Sometimes you do get caught up with what other people say. Yeah.
And then it is coming back to, you know, what is real for you, like taking the layers off. And one of the things that I find most profound is that when I speak my truth with love and compassion,
Yes.
then it's like it clears away all the fluff.
Absolutely. Yes.
And from there, then it's like, oh, cool. What is my truth of not fitting what you think I should be? So I remember this one time I was standing in the wings of a theatre.
Right.
We'd been rehearsing for a while. On the other side, my daughter was on the far side. We're in the front row, 50 women aged from in their 20s to almost 70, different shapes, sizes, colours. My parents were in the front row. And as the lights went down and everything settled, I looked at the women behind me
Mhm.
and I was like, yeah. And silently we all going, we got this. We got this. The lights went down. The music came up. And I stepped onto stage naked.
Oh,
And 50 of us filed down and danced in a feminist piece about owning our body
of course.
and owning that difference.
Sure.
I can't believe I did it.
Wonderful.
Was it a bit different? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did a whole lot of people judge
Okay.
for that difference? Yeah. Did my mum and dad sit proudly in the front row, 86 and 87 years old, and go, yep.
Right. Right. Yeah. I'm sure they supported you.
They absolutely did. They
Yeah.
were there. But again, it was very different.
Of course.
And that was part of my journey of trying to fit into myself, trying to fit into my own skin,
Right.
let alone trying to fit into
A
someone
box.
else. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So I imagine with your lineage having all the generations and having the powerful mum that you had that created that
Yes.
space for you and for your grandchildren, that they probably run their own race too, do they?
My children who are
Yes.
not married as yet. Yes.
Yeah.
So I hope they do that, and I hope they have a positive race ahead of them. Yes.
Yeah. And then even I read something recently, a book called How to Thrive as an Empath.
Okay.
And one of the things that I read in there is that often highly intuitive and empathetic people
Mhm.
won't have children.
Won't have children?
They won't have children.
Oh, okay.
And then I could recognize how in my naivety, perhaps arrogance, perhaps innocence, that I hadn't understood that.
Okay.
And then had thought, yeah, you'll have kids one day. We often say that as parents and as friends and as family. Yeah, one day kids, one day they'll have kids. Yeah. And then to read someone's journey and to understand that there are people who won't, and for beautiful, exquisite reasons. But again, how often as parents and as friends and as family, it's like, yeah, we want you to have the kids. We want you to have the kids, and we want you to have the marriage, and things like that. So, and I'm taken back to a story. One of my clients, her son was at a private school.
Okay.
And she wanted him to do the doctor, the lawyer, all of that sort of thing. And she was so disappointed in him because he wanted to be a mechanic.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
He just wanted to be a mechanic.
Right, yeah.
He would come in and she would just woe because she'd spent all this money for him to go to private school, and all he wanted to do was be a mechanic. And I just would look at him because she would say this in front of him. And then she'd say, oh, well, if he's going to be happy.
Right.
But the whole thing was like just a mechanic. Right. And yet when this young man talked about being a mechanic, he lit up.
Yeah.
He lit up. He just could.
Yes. Yes, I can understand that. Yes.
Yeah. So I think as we go through life, it's like we try on different clothes.
True.
And we try on that box.
Yes. Yeah.
That beautifully gift wrap box.
Absolutely. Yes.
Magic bow on top, the ribbons around it. It just looks so perfect sometimes.
Right.
And we try it on. And then it's like,
no.
Yeah. And sometimes that box gets like beaten up and ripped and torn apart and things like that.
Sure.
And then it's like, ugh. So what if we just accepted?
Right, yeah.
If we just accepted that willingness that, yeah, that doesn't feel good. It's not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my beautiful clients and very dear friends gave me a testimonial, and she's like, you're not everyone's cup of tea, HB.
Oh.
And I was like, ooh. And then I was like, how cool is it?
Yes.
She could say that. And then how cool is it that I could recognize, you're right. You're absolutely right. I'm not even someone's cup of coffee. I'm not even their glass of wine.
Maybe water for sure.
Maybe water. Let me just have one of those.
Sure, please go ahead.
Yeah, so if we look back over time, there have been so many people who have changed the world.
Yeah. Because
they were different.
Sure.
Because they had that vision, because they had that insight, or maybe the rebellious ones who are like, I'm not doing this.
Right, yes.
And break up those stereotypes.
Yeah.
So some people have done that difference with anger and frustration. Some have done it with love and compassion.
True.
So what would you tell someone about daring to be different? What is the advice that you give your children? What is the advice you will give your grandchildren, and perhaps even yourself?
No grandchildren, only children and myself. Daring to be different. what I would tell them is to choose the correct path, which they love. And yeah, that's very important. So whatever path they choose, my husband and I are going to be with them until we are alive. And they have our support. That is what I definitely will tell my children. And we are always for them, whichever part of the world they would be in.
I love it. I love it. And I think that is such an important thing, that daring to be different, because we can be different for the sake of being different. And that's okay too.
Yes, of course. And I would be proud if my children are different.
Yeah.
They're not run of the milk children. They are different. It really makes me proud.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. If we follow our love to, rather than, oh, I should do this, I must do this, I need to. And there will be times that we do that.
Right.
But one of the biggest things, if we follow our love to.
Yes.
And if someone says why, it's just because I love to.
Right.
But why? Because I love to.
Yes.
No other rhyme or reason.
Absolutely. Yes.
Because I love to.
Of course. Yeah.
Then that's a truly, I think, beautiful thing to bring more of that. And that's one of the things I know with what's going on around the world now. There are many, many children who are being schooled.
Homeschooled, yes.
Yeah, with that, they will be learning different skills.
Of course.
They were at in school. And I remember when I was in, I think, year 11, we had a young girl come to our school. I lived in a little country town. And she'd grown up in a lighthouse.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty different.
Of course it is, yeah.
She would say things. Mm-hmm. She would just say things very freely.
Right.
Without any concern about being judged, because she was doing virtual learning over radio waves. This is going back 30, 40 years ago, 40 something years ago. And I would sit there in awe and watch her as she just would speak. No inhibitions. Real, because she hadn't grown up in that world of judgment, because there was no one around to judge.
Right.
And I remember thinking, what extraordinary freedom that she had.
But I would like to put in a thought in your mind that, yes, we do give our children the freedom, but when they meander off the tracks, we just give them a little tug. And I do that to get them back on the track. I'm a mother after all, right? I don't want to see my children hurt. Yeah?
Yes, absolutely. And then I wonder, are you putting them on their track or your track?
Their track. And I pull them back if they're going off their track. Though I would love to have them on my track.
I love the honesty. I love the honesty of that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Have we got any questions or anything that anyone
there are no questions posted as yet.
No questions there?
I think you cleared all the doubts. And you all have been such a wonderful, lovely session. And I've also learned a lot from you, and to stay out of the box and not to put ourselves into the box. So it's been really lovely. May I now have the honor of presenting to you the iconic woman who has created a better world for all. Thank you so much, Heather, and we will surely stay in touch. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Akash?